Yeah, and then after 60, I think Terry kind of alluded that life isn't about adding years, but it's about adding life to the years that we have remaining. And so, I want to live every day on purpose,
And I
intentional.
love that. I love that quote, man. It's not
Yeah.
adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. Hey there, como ça va and que pasa? Welcome to another edition of the In the Pocket with JayBo podcast, and I'm your host Jay Boudoin. Please don't forget to subscribe or follow, be it whether you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. We're all over the place now. We do advertise the show on X and on TikTok. So today we're going to be talking about how you stay active as life progresses. One of the main themes of the show today is that if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of anything else, or much more so, anybody else, be it children, family members, grandparents, or anything like that, or your work? And the three main areas we're going to be looking at is your physical health, your mental health, and also keeping up with those doctor visits, which is important as well. We have two very special guests joining us today. Two of my buddies from the gym that we go to. And I want to welcome to the show Mr. Ronald George and Mr. Everett Armstrong. How are y'all doing, fellas?
Good evening.
Hey,
It's all
hey, doing great.
absolutely.
I know Everett's doing great. He just finished a plate of red beans over there, so I know he's doing fine.
We're not finished, but we're close. Maybe round two.
So anyway, yeah, with our topic, we're at the gym, and Ronald brings up this subject quite a bit about keeping up with the grind. I always look for him for a daily word when we're at the gym, and he never fails to deliver. And I really appreciate it because he doesn't miss an opportunity to shake a hand and inspire or encourage somebody, and Everett does the same thing. But Ronald is the leader around the gym with that, and we do appreciate that. And the relationship that we form is just from having that kind of small talk in between sets while we're in the gym. And Ronald, I believe, what are you, 71, I believe?
51. I don't know. I was born in 1953. I'll let you all do the math.
That's just a number, right?
That's the point I want to make clear
That's
about
right.
that.
Ev, I think you're in your Everett, mid 50s, right? Am I correct?
57.
57. Okay, yeah, that's right. I'm 61, so we got the 70s, the 60s, and the 50s covered on this conversation today. Um,
That's it.
with this, yeah, I want to go back to what I said is that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. It's almost like when you're on an airplane and you guys hear the speech that they give that if the air hoses drop down to you, what do they tell you first? You put yours on first, and then you take care of the little ones or the elderly person next to you if they're not able to do it. So that's a kind of the theme again that we're going to have here today. So what I'd like to do is have Ronald and Everest tell our guests a little bit about yourselves, if you would. So, Mr. Ronald, why don't you go first, man?
I'll be glad to. Ronald George, born in 1953, Huey P. Long Hospital in Pineville, Louisiana. And
Louisiana.
that's it. And so that's where my mother's side of the family is from. And I'm the oldest of seven. My father is from Houston, Texas. And he was in the military. My mother went back home and I was delivered. About six other siblings, they're all born here in Houston, Texas at Herman Hospital. I grew up in Houston, went to college in Denton up at North Texas State University, formerly North Texas State University, is the University of Texas
That's right.
now. And I was graduated from there with Bachelor of Arts. I played basketball there. I was a walk on, so I didn't go to school for athletics, but I loved basketball and just
Okay.
loved being active. And so I went out for the team and I made it. Had a wonderful time. Graduated, came on back home. I have three sons: Reginald, Chad, and Ryan. And so spent 30 years, 29 years with the Boy Scouts of America. That was a wonderful experience. yeah, it was a wonderful experience for me. And so I've learned to stay active, character development,
Right.
citizenship training, mental and physical development. And that was basically foundational for what I do. And so that's a little bit about me. I still move around actively. And I also like to thank my partners, my guys I trained with. I've trained with several
Yes.
guys. All of them were excellent. And so having a good time now with them. I tell them they're just as important to me as my doctor or my spiritual leader to keep everything grounded and so keep you well rounded. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Very nice. Well, man, I think that's pretty awesome stuff with the, you said 29 years with the Boy Scouts, I believe, correct?
Absolutely.
That's
So
amazing. And what position?
impacted a lot of young men. Had a great impact
Absolutely.
on a lot of young men. Yeah. I still run into every
Sure.
few of them every now and then. Some of them even give me a call. In fact, I talked to one today, and he's in his 50s and still thanking me. So it's good. It was a great experience for me, and so glad that I was able to have that type of impact on some, positive role for
Absolutely.
the people. Yeah,
That's got to be a great feeling.
absolutely.
Yep. So, Mr. Everett, tell us a little bit about yourself there.
Well, let's see. That's all I have is a little bit. I was let's see. I'm the child of a Air Force veteran, a retired Air Force Chief Master Sergeant, born in Vandenberg Air Force Base in Longport, California. Moved to, as far as I can remember, we moved to East St. Louis, where my dad met my mom, and I lived in East St. Louis, Illinois, up until it was time to go to high school. And I ended up moving to Houston to stay with
Okay.
my dad. And went to Dulles High School. After Dulles High School, went to Texas Southern University for a spell. And then following that, I went into the Air Force. So I joined the Air
Okay.
Force and stayed in for 7 years, stationed at Bergstrom Air Force Base in Austin, Texas, and then went to Davis Monthan in Tucson, Arizona. Stayed in, like I said, after 7 years, decided to get out and move back to Houston, do something different. I was going to go back into the military, but as life got in the way, things kind of changed. But I feel like the Lord has put me right where I'm supposed to be now, because I probably wouldn't have met you two gentlemen to start
That is
had I
true.
taken a different route.
That is true.
Currently, I'm a regional director for a Smoothie King franchise. Next to that, I've coached club volleyball for 30 years.
Wow.
27 of those years were coaching girls. Three and a half of those years, I'm counting half of the COVID year, I was coaching boys. Let's see, I got me a national championship under my belt for the boys and a collegiate college championship in 2010 with the University of St. Thomas. I was assistant coach there. So
Nice.
it's good to, to go down like that, fade to black like that.
Sure.
Currently, I got my own sports performance business, Legion Sports Performance and Fitness. Imported from Legion. I started that in
Plug.
2000. Yeah, right. Should I throw the website in there, Jay?
Yeah, please do. Please.
Hey, that's www.ealegionssports.net.
Got it.
But
One
now,
more time.
and
One more time. One more time, Everett.
www.ealegionssports.net. And
Got it.
we
Nice.
do all kind of sports performance, adult fitness, um, anything to get folks in shape if they want to get athletes prepared to play their game.
Absolutely.
Married, got three kids, three lovely kids. My daughter Eris, my son Everett, and my daughter Madeline, who is expecting. So I'll be a grandfather, another grandfather in January
Nice.
time frame. And I have two other grandkids, a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old. So
Okay.
uh,
Very
that's
good.
my family right there.
Very nice. Very nice. So what I'm hearing from both of you guys is a big tie with family, a big tie with sports throughout most of your lives. You've done a lot with influencing, coaching, and giving back to the younger people in the community. As far as Everett, you with the coaching of the volleyball, and Ronald with the Boy Scouts, and guys, that's just very admirable stuff to me that you do, because you do this on your spare time. So you do these things because you have a passion for it and you have a love for it, and you're obviously motivated to make a difference in young people's lives. So especially, how it's been over the last, years or so, man, you can really make a positive impression with young people's lives. And I go back to what Ronald said a few minutes ago is, man, somebody, that you were leading in a Boy Scout troop maybe 20, 25 years ago comes back to you and calls you and has a conversation with you. That's got to feel great. Or Everett, you're at the grocery store, or, you're filling your tank up somewhere. And, hey, coach, how's it going? Stuff like that. That's really awesome stuff.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's good to have established relationships that you would have never expected to go beyond, that season that you're coaching somebody. And, before too long, you're invited to their wedding, you're, all going to family
Right.
functions and things like that. I mean, Ron's familiar with a couple of my former athletes that have come to hang out with us at the gym. Well, basically come to hang out with us at the gym.
Sure. Y'all have introduced me to a couple of people like that before. That's cool to see that kind of stuff. I can't tell y'all how much joy I get out of stuff like that. I coached football and basketball. I'm sorry, baseball several years back, and I can tell you, just making an impression, a positive impression on those young kids' lives, and some of them have some challenged home lives to deal with, and to be able to be a positive in their life is a big and meaningful thing to me, and I can imagine how much it is to you guys for as long as y'all have done it. So I appreciate that, and thank y'all very much. I will be remiss now. I need to bring it up because we talk about the gym and the fellowship that we have at the gym with everybody, and when we're going to the same gym consistently, we all kind of hold each other, like, I want to call it a indirect or an informal accountability to make sure that everybody else is there. And like I said, I'd be remiss without saying Ronald has the biggest eagle eyes I've ever seen anybody in the gym before. Everett, back me up. He knows who's there, who's not when they walk in.
Yeah, they got to go
He's got
through. They got to go through Ron first
he's got better
before
pitched
before
eyes
they
than
get.
Nolan Ryan and Doc Gooden, man.
I tease him all the time, Jay, that and he asked me sometimes, what did they just say? I told him, I don't know, man. I'm just encouraging people. I said, I got all these ESL friends, English as a second language, and
Yeah.
I don't really know what they're saying, and then they know what I'm saying, but they're
Yeah, I
looking
tell
for us
you,
to be dapping each other up every day.
that is the funniest thing too. I mean, they can barely speak English, but they'll make it a point to come up to Ron and give him a little fist bump, and Ron will hold a conversation with him. And sometimes all they can do is smile, bob their head, and walk
Bob the
off.
head, right? but
That's
but you
fun.
know whatever, he'll sit there and talk. He'll stand there and talk to him and give him a
That's
greeting and
it.
make him feel welcome. That's he always does that, and that's one thing I've even told my wife about several times. And Ronald, remember we ran into you at the HEB one time and we were talking to you.
Yeah,
And I'm like, baby, that's the man I'm telling you about.
that's what he did.
Don't worry, Everett, you in the next sentence, and then Terry and also, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the mayor or the ambassador to Jim, Mr. Jose, right? Now, that's
Man,
somebody that talks to everybody.
it's funny. Yep, it's
Hmm.
funny, man. But
So, look,
hey, I'm
one
enjoying it.
staple we have here on the In the Pocket with JayBo show is that I ask a few icebreaker questions to get the mood kind of flowing here a little bit. So, as the late Jackie Gleason once said, and away we go. So, I'm going to go to you first, Mr. Everett. First question I have here is, what is your favorite month of the year and why?
That's easy. May.
May.
May. May is my birthday month. So
I'm
I
asking you to support your decision now.
allow the rest of the world to enjoy May up until the second to last day of the month, and then that becomes my day. So I
Ah,
would say my
okay.
favorite
Okay.
my favorite part of the month is May. Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there, May.
Leave it at May. Okay.
Leave it at May.
I like that, man. May's usually a happy time, man. You're getting out of school usually, and summer's about to come and vacations and all that stuff. So I've heard May a couple of times. Mr. Ronald, tell me
Well,
what's your favorite month and why?
mine is in December, and that's when I celebrate a birthday. But it also reminds me I can reflect back on a full year, and find, look at things that goals that I set at the beginning of the year and see how consistent I am throughout the year in achieving them. I like to I'm a
Yes.
metrics guy. I like looking at numbers and things like that. And so I reflect back. And it happens to be that my birthday is on December 31st. So I got a full year of reflection.
Look out.
And I can look backwards and I can also plan forward. So for me, December is that for many reasons, but that's part of it.
I think he's calling himself a transitional man, is what he's saying here, Everett. So he can look back on December 31st, but he can look ahead on January
Yeah.
1 that's
There you
coming up.
go.
So
There you
all I'm
go.
hearing is a transitional man, is what I'm hearing.
That's like he's
Good
sitting on the
deal.
mountaintop.
Yeah. The
You
wise
see
man,
both
right?
sides from the
That's
top.
right. Yeah, got memories behind me, and I got hope in front of me. So it's all
What's
good.
that? What's that old saying about the boat? If you're in the boat, if you want to be in the front so you can look where you've been, but if you turn around, you can see where you've already been.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I do
All
that.
right. Next question. I'm gonna go to you first, Ronald.
All
What
right.
is your favorite movie and why?
My favorite movie used to be The Godfather, and it's just
Hmm.
I like yeah, The Godfather. I
Okay.
enjoyed that. I mean, there's very few movies I look at more than one time, but I have several movies that I reflect on. That one, Tombstone, the movie with Eddie Murphy and Martin, Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those. I probably have a couple of others that I enjoy, but those three there, I can look at them, over and over and over
Right.
again. So yeah, nothing lighthearted, but it's just. But I find find messages in all of them.
I can tell you, I think I've seen The Godfather probably 30 times, and each time I watch it, I see something that I did not see in the episode
Right.
before.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually,
Man,
I
it
do.
just,
Yeah.
and I'm like a little
Yes.
kid. I pointed out, hey, I didn't remember that. But man, that movie gets me because I just always see something I didn't notice before. Just something.
Yeah. Every time.
Everett, what's one of your favorite movies, man, that you liked and why?
I guess I'm gonna have to go with Talladega Nights.
I
Talladega
can't wait
Nights.
to hear
That's
this
that's
and why.
that's my movie. It's just hilarious, man. It's just I like Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
the other guy. I can't think of his
Shake
name
and
right
bake.
now, but yeah, Shake Man, Magic
Shake
Man.
and bake.
But yeah, I like
That is one
Talladega
funny
Nights.
movie, man.
Yeah, Talladega Nights is I would say is probably the one that comes to mind. Then like Ron said, there's like life. I enjoyed life. You're gonna
Yeah.
eat your cornbread. And gee whiz, it just slipped my Harlem Nights.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Funny.
Yeah. Anything with Red Fox, I'm watching it.
Excuse me.
I love Red Fox. I could be
Yeah.
flipping channels, if it's on, it's staying. I don't care if I seen it.
Oddly enough,
Yes,
my
indeed.
dad
That's
used to
some
play
good ones.
golf with
All right, last question, Everett. I'm
Demond
gonna go to you
Wilson.
first.
I was just saying, oddly enough, my dad used to play golf with Demond Wilson.
Oh, I'll be darned. Really?
Yeah,
He
sure
I
did.
think he's a military veteran, if I remember reading that one time before my father
He's a
passed.
pastor now. Well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
I think
Yeah,
he's still alive, but yeah, he's a pastor.
yeah, he's up there though. I know he's. I'm almost sure he's still alive. So, man, that's interesting. You never know when you're going to have these celebrity sightings with people. It's just crazy.
Huh.
So,
Right.
Everett, I'm going to go to you in this first one here. So, if you could go back in history and talk to an historical figure back in time, and they wanted to talk back to you, have a conversation with you, who would it be?
I'd have to say Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesus Christ would be the one that I'd want to go talk to and walk alongside him like the disciples did. There is a point in that time where I wouldn't want to be when he was crucified, but
Right.
at least just to go back and be around him and hear his message and how he spoke to people and the parables he told and
Sure.
all of that. So that would be my guy right there. Yeah.
The disciples had too, because they had a pretty bad demise as well, but they
Yeah.
trust in Jesus and that's what they do. So, no, thank you. Good answer. Mr. Ronald, if you could go
Yeah,
back in time and have a conversation, historical figure, who would it be and why?
yeah, that would be my choice also, Jesus,
Okay.
because of his teachings, his message on love and sacrifice, service, forgiveness, those kinds of things. And it's just still, even today, as you read continually, his word, there's still things there in his message that you still need to grow in. And I don't think
Sure.
there's another figure in life that brought it and demonstrated it as well as he did. And so,
Right.
as a disciple, obviously, you are um, following him, and showing how we live with compassion and purpose. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it would be Jesus Christ.
Have some spirit in your life. That's what some of the old people used to say. You need some spirit in your life.
Yeah, well,
And
they
You need
told us
that's
that.
Jesus.
exactly that's what they're talking about. You need some Jesus in your life.
Yeah, well,
And
we just have to activate it. You just have to
yeah,
activate it because when he created us, he blew it into us, and we became a living creature. And so
yep,
so if we live in his spirit is in us, and it's just a case of us growing into, walking therein. And so that's my
well, I think you
personality.
brought up a good point. And I've always believed he's always there, and I totally agree with you, Ronald. You need to activate it, and that's it,
Yeah,
because he's
yeah,
there. And I
yeah,
think that's a great thing to how you realize that. So I think this is going to help us transition over into the subject of the day, of which is staying active as life progresses. And I think the analogy both of you gentlemen just brought up about the person you'd want to go back in time to talk to is Jesus Christ. And ironically, on my last podcast episode, I had two brothers, and one of the brothers also said Jesus Christ as well. So interesting. But I think that leads to a foundation of having a spiritual life with Jesus in it, which also can bring you to, and that's what I like about having my own podcast. I can say whatever the heck I want to say. So I'm not worried about anybody if they like it or not. So I love this is keeping it real, man. I like this kind of stuff. So what we're doing is, I think having a spiritual life is, and again, this is just my belief, having a spiritual life lays the foundation for the three topics that we're going to bring out today of taking care of your physical fitness, your mental fitness, and keeping up with those doctor visits. And I want to just have a disclaimer. None of us are doctors here. We try to keep active. We're in our 70s, 60s, and 50s on this call. And we reach out to a majority of crowd in the younger baby boomers, which they call the Generation Joneses now, and also into the Gen Xers and the millennials. And this also goes in even to the Gen Zs for just an awareness of when you see these older gentlemen and women, ladies at the gym, you know what they're doing. They're staying active. But with our first topic, I want to go to you first, Everett. What does, of those three things, we're going to talk about the physical fitness side of it first. Tell me what that means to you and what keeps you motivated, and and why do you do it too? So talk to me about your look on things from a staying active as life progresses with the physical fitness side.
Well, Jay, I'll tell you, if I knew then what I know now, it'd probably be a little different for me. I'd probably be a lot more active in sports personally. But I think what has motivated me the most to stay active, one is that being a coach, I figured, in order to hold some athletes accountable, I have to hold myself accountable for my fitness and well-being. Also, running a sports performance business has kind of has motivated me to, stay in shape. But then as I gotten older, I just realized that it's important to not let your the temple is already, breaking down. Your body's already aging on its own. Don't help it along by not doing anything and just letting it fall apart. I mean, that's no different than, maintaining a house. If you don't do anything, you don't take care of it, it's going to fall apart on you. But you got to do those maintenance things. I tell everybody all the time, for me, it's all maintenance right now. I'm running out of screws and nails and and boards and planks to keep this together. But it's I have a good time, and it helps too to have.
That sounds like those those old houses in New Orleans. I said the only thing holding this house together is the termites are holding hands right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And it helps no, that's quite all right. And it helps to have a workout partner too. I mean, I think it's, more so Ron pulls me into the gym a lot more now because I know he's going to be there hook or crook, if he's just there doing stretching or whatever, he's going to be there. So, there are times I don't feel like getting up in the morning, but I know my buddy's there. So I jump on up and meet him there. And by the time I get there, I'm up and ready to go. So it's become my vitamin. It's something, my morning cup of coffee that I have, and that's getting up and going to the gym and getting a workout in.
And what are your goals with y'all working out? So like how many days a week do you guys go? I pretty much know everything y'all do, but I want our guests to hear, especially, these younger boomers and these older Gen Xers, what keeps you motivated and what are your goals? Well, I'm sorry, you told me Ronald keeps you motivated. Ronald keeps me motivated too. But what are your goals when you're there though? What are your goals for the gym?
Well, I mean, it's to be fit, mobility, longevity. That's my goal. I want to be functional, be able to move around. We don't lift heavy, so we're not trying to bodybuild and get to the point where we can compete. We laugh and joke all the time because I said those people that lift heavy don't have friends because they don't have anybody to grab the other end of it,
right,
and help them pick it up.
Right.
So we do a lot of functional exercises, for day by day stuff, moving around.
Right.
I really should have physical goals put in front of me. I know because that helps you, have a target to shoot for. But for the most part, it's maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Just, getting in the gym and getting that work and trying to stay fit and maintaining a decent wardrobe and not having to buy larger clothes.
It's a lot more fun bragging about if the clothes are loose, right?
Yeah, hey, at least I can get those taken in. You can't get small clothes taken out.
No doubt.
I want you to notice that I'm not.
Now look, Terry's trying to chime in now. Look, I didn't even know he was going to be on. I thought he was too busy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome our special co-host, Mr. Terry Broussard. Better late than never, right, Everett?
That's it.
Showing up now, Terry. You can smile at least, man. We see you over here. All right. So where we are right now is Everett just gave us a rundown of his view on physical fitness and his goals and what influences him. So Ronald, I'm gonna come to you next. So what influences you to keep going to the gym, and what are your goals? There is not just at the gym, but the physical fitness side of things.
Okay, very good. I'm in a place right now where I don't know a lot of people, if anybody, that's doing what I'm doing. I mean, I'm sure there are. I just don't know anybody. And, would be able to do some of the things that I'm doing. And I guess for me, it's a mindset. But I just enjoy life, love living life. And I'm just, and I wake up, like I told you, with joy, with happiness every day, regardless of what's going on. And so, and the ability to move is just, I can't take it for granted, at all. When I say stage and not age, it's truly what I do mean. It's not just a slogan I've coined, but that's what I really believe because I have the ability to do whatever I want to do. And
Right.
not on any type of medication. And I don't foresee anything, no blood pressure, no diabetes, no cholesterol. And I'm always looking to evolve into something better than I am. always. I'm
Absolutely.
a very happy person when I wake up and I can hit the floor, move my feet, and I ain't hurting. So, yes, it's for me. It's kind of simple. And I do challenge myself, because, I know that aging is real. While I can say that it's about stage, about not about age, but I know that if I get injured, it probably will take me much longer to heal than it did 50 years ago.
Right.
And I really don't look at my age until I start thinking about the guy say in his 50s or 40s and 30s. And, we're connecting just like we're equal.
Sure.
And I don't see anybody, calling me old. And so I move around in such a way that I've been fortunate or blessed that I can do these things. And so keep moving every day, because I think of bodies in motion, it kind of keep you alive. And so my health has just become my wealth, and I have to protect it with wisdom, with discipline, and I stay in my lane, and I do push myself, I do challenge myself, and I rest also, so that I can be able to, do the things that I want to do. So I'm enjoying life. I really can't. I don't have some scientific response that I can give you other than, joy.
Right.
And
Well, that's what I said about our
I
show.
really,
We're
I
everyday
think,
people. Nobody here is a doctor or, a specialist. We just want people to know that if you're sitting on that couch, on the fence about getting up to exercise, all it takes is that old saying of putting one foot in front of the other, right?
yeah. And
Just
what you
get
know, the
up
thing
there
about
and
it,
go
Jay,
do
is
it. And I promise
also,
you, almost every gym has a Terry or an Everett, or I don't know if every gym has a Ronald, but every gym has that, and
but
you
you know
and
what?
you
Yeah.
get
I
to
can
meet people.
also, one other thing I'd like to add is that I too at one point had some physical and medical issues,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to stay that way. And I didn't want to do it with medicine. I wanted to do it like I've always have done it. And I played basketball in a tournament this year, 2025. And it was I had an opportunity to see some other guys around my age and even older that was serious about their health and their ability to move around. And I was pleased with the results, the outcome. And I'm not foolish to think that I'm going out there dunking, stealing, and tumbling and all of that. But again, I have to use wisdom, just to use discipline. But and then I appreciate my partner. Even if he doesn't want to get up, he does. He shows up
Right.
and he comes in and he's ready to train. When we're training, he's ready to train, and that means a lot to me. So and then I want to be accountable. I don't want him to have to be pulling me, dragging me, these kinds of things. And so I come in with the mindset, and that's what it is. I don't have to get ready every day. It's a mindset for me. So, and it's something that you build over time. And so, yeah, that's what for me for the active part and keeping fit and that. And I'm talking to Terry because I asked him before. I said, "How often do you train?" He said 7 days. But then we're not trying to go in there and rearrange everything either. We're doing that, just keep staying active. And so
Terry don't intentionally try to rearrange stuff, but he does. I mean,
Yeah, he does.
still gonna get it.
just saying.
hey, 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 Big T knows grief is free around here, man.
Just saying.
Where's my sign? Where's my sign?
Yeah.
So Terry, you got something to pyramid on top of that? Just talking about on the physical fitness side of being in the gym, and if somebody's at home and they're thinking about it, because Terry, what are you? You're around 67 ish, I want to say.
69.
69. Okay, so we got 71, 69, 61, and 57 with Everett. So we definitely talking to the people in the boomers and in the Gen X crowd. So do you have something you want to pyramid on top of what Ronald just said about, being in the gym and, just holding each other accountable when we go there and things?
Well, yeah, and the only thing I would add to that is that it really is a mindset. You see so many
Yeah,
people who go to the gym and their attitude is, "Oh, I don't want to be here. I'm just doing this because my doctor said, or my wife told me to lose a little weight," or they come up with all these negative reasons why they're in the gym, and it's very seldom that you hear those people say anything positive. All four of us are at the gym because it's where we want to be.
Right.
Period. Full stop. We want to start our day out at the gym. We want to be active. We want our range of motion maintained as long as possible. We're not trying to chase the fountain of youth. We're not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those other muscle moron. Okay, well, Everett is.
Everett is.
We just want our bodies to be active
Yeah.
and strong over a range of motion. That's all we're after. And so, because we are absolute in our resolve to do that, we get it done. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people watch Star Wars and they heard Yoda say, "There's no try, there is do or do not." My dad, way back in the late '60s, came up, "Either you is or you ain't."
That sounds like my
Now,
granddad. Did they know each other?
Yep.
That sounds like the truth.
They probably ran around the same areas, but it was real simple. Either you is or you ain't.
Yeah.
And so I try to mirror that. My training, my exposure, my education has allowed me to mirror that with a Latin phrase, "is quam videre," which is to be rather than to appear. I don't want to appear to be fit. I want to be fit. I don't want to appear to be an educated man. I want to be an educated man.
Go.
I don't want to appear to like Everett. I'd like to actually like Everett. But for right now, I'm just holding on to the appear.
You know what? I still get my bro hug every day though. That's fine. You can appear all you want.
Every day.
Now, Everett, you know you called it a bear hug last time.
Yeah. Or a death grip. It was one of them. It was one of them things.
No, I've only picked him up twice. I don't do that anymore.
Right.
Under specific instructions not to do that. Mm-hmm. I might hurt him.
And my posture's been bad ever since.
That's why I see him walking around the gym with them 45s in his hands, right?
I'm trying to get upright.
I said, Everett, what you doing? He goes, "We call this the Terry." I know he's gonna make another sign. No, but Terry, thank you for pyramiding on that. That was some really cool info you laid on us, and I think my grandfather would have said something, either you is or you ain't, and his would have started out with looking at me going, boy, either you this or you that. Anyway, but no, I think that's great viewpoints on everything, and we do hold each other accountable, and we like being there because when you see us, we're smiling. Hey, come on, let's go, let's get it going, and we see guys like Stan and them guys pushing the sled, and Rudy whenever he's there, and them guys getting at it. So they got some hardworking people at the gym, especially some of the ladies, man. I see some of these ladies in there kicking ass, so good stuff. Let's move over into the next subject, and this is the one I really wanted to talk about a little bit, is the mental fitness side of things. And the number one, I think, enemy there is stress. That's just my opinion. So, Ronald, I'm going to go to you first on this one. So, keeping your mental clarity and because you can be there body-wise, and I think this is something Terry was kind of alluding to as well. You can be there body-wise, but you need to be there and with your body and your mind. So, talk to me a little bit about what do you do about keeping your mental health fit? So talk to me about that a little bit, please.
Well, that's a good question too, Jay. And I'm not sure if any of you have experienced it, but coming up, most often you hear about people retiring and they're aging, and they go into this fog, this FOG. And I mean, I've talked to a number of people starting maybe from Everett's age on through my age, and they just the mental fog that they go through. But you have to train your mind as much as you train your body. Right. And I had to come out of that retirement mindset to know that I'm still living. And I'm not in a decline mode. And I feel like I'm sharper today than I was 15 years ago. And because I don't have the stress level now. When I'm showing up at somebody's job, I mean, I do my own thing now. And I had to take steps to minimize the stress. I had to get some sleep, some real sleep.
I think that's key. is the sleep.
And I'm not just talking about taking naps during the day, but having a full measurement of sleep. That's gonna make a difference for you. And not getting too much sleep,
Right.
not getting broken sleep, but getting you the number that's gonna make a difference for you, because it does make a difference. And
Hmm.
all that I'm doing at the gym or just in life, it means nothing if I'm not getting the right rest. You're gonna have to do that. And but so it was a coming out of a job 6 years ago, out of the job market. It took me several years. I mean, Everett could probably attest to it. All the people we knew every day, I was like, what is their name? What is their name? You know, I don't even do that anymore because it took some training for me to get out of that. And I train my
Hmm.
mind. I read daily something so that I can stay informed or be able to do critical thinking and to be able to have a conversation and just grow mentally.
I have a question. I have a question. I have a question there, Ronald. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to ask you
So,
before I forget. So you brought up reading, and I've heard somebody say this before. They said they don't just read, but sometimes they'll read out loud, even if they're just in the house by themselves reading a book. They'll read out loud, so it stops them from being lazy while they're reading, and they felt that it helped their mind sharpen up if they're actually saying the words out loud. Have you done that before?
that's part of training. Yeah, it's just part of the training.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're going to stay sharp. You know, all that goes hand in peace of mind. It all goes hand in hand for me. Yeah.
Well, good deal. I appreciate that, and I think I'm gonna bring up an example of that I think at least a couple of you guys have taken martial arts, and I have too. And my episode two, I spoke with of season two. I spoke with a friend of mine who is a two times masters jiu-jitsu world champion, and he did a total life pivot of around 30. I'm sorry, 48, 49 years old, and his son had talked to him, and his son is in medical school right now to study in neurology. And he said, "Dad, you need to do some things to keep your mind fit. You're doing all this exercise, keeping your body fit and all that." He said, "Son, I'm keeping my mind fit because this is a human chess game that I'm doing every time I'm in, the martial arts sparring and practicing and the tenets and things like that." So I thought that was really interesting how he said, that's how I'm working my mind, is because I'm constantly thinking of moves and what I'm going to do next. And Terry, I know you played an instrument, and because I told him, I said, I think that's pretty similar to what I'm doing with playing bass, because my mind's constantly working between my hands and my fingers and reading music and trying to decipher things. So, Terry, if you want to add something there, I think you know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, it is repetition of various and disparate skill sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'll dovetail on martial arts. I just came back from teaching martial arts,
Hmm.
so an aspect of my personality that I have to use, and I've been doing it so long I don't really have to think, but I still have to know what I'm talking about. Then you pivot 10 degrees, I write novels. You pivot another 10 degrees, I play music. You pivot another 10 degrees, I'm, as Everett calls me, the mad scientist.
Right.
So I don't have time for degradation. I don't allow for
Yeah.
degradation. I'm constantly using my mind to do the things to satisfy my insatiable curiosity.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't think, well, depending on who you ask, I'm never going to have any degradation. But again, if you ask some people, I'm already degraded. So there's that.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, thank you. Everett, talk to me a little bit about mental fitness, if you would.
Mental fitness is definitely working like Ron started off with, is keeping stress out of your life. I mean, you got to have 2012. I came up with, it was kind of like along the lines of a New Year's resolution, but it was kind of I guess like we've been saying, a mindset change for me, because it was perspective and perception. And
Hmm.
perception was how people perceive me, and not that it really mattered a whole lot, but I wanted to be perceived, in a good light, in a realistic, genuine light.
Hmm.
And the other one was perspective. And that was just keeping life in perspective. keeping things in perspective, which allowed me to kind of keep, quite a few of the stressors out of life. I was talking to the wife this morning. No, it was last night over dinner. And, she was talking about work and things like that. And I was like, well, maybe if you look at it like, it's either all your fault or you have no control over it. And if you can, chop it up in those, areas there, maybe it'll take a little bit of the stress off of what's going on. You can actually keep things in perspective and realize, oh, well, it wasn't in my control anyway. I guess I got to, just deal with whatever's going on right now because it's out of my control. Or I totally screwed up and it's on me, So I guess, that's kind of how I've kind of gone at life, is just kind of doing things to try to keep it in perspective. One of my old bosses had told me one point in time, I was losing my mind over a customer that was losing their mind. And, and I was just going on and on and on. And he said, Everett, rational versus emotional. And I was like, okay. And he was like, rational. How would you handle this situation? And I told him, he was like, there you go. So why are you emotional about it? You already had the rational side figured out, but you got emotional first. So these things there, I've learned to kind of, put all that into my little Everett gumbo of life to try to manage how I am on the inside while I'm working on the outside or trying to maintain the outside. So, just trying to maintain myself along this Verizon bars of brothers I hang out with,
Yeah.
When it comes down to age, height, and level of fitness, I'm here to try to maintain.
Right. Well, I had to watch Terry when you said gumbo. I know he got a little. I know he got a little. It stood up straight there for a second.
I thought he was going to go to the door and see if Uber Eats had made it there.
Terry, I'm about to call Becky. I know she made a pot of jambalaya the other day. And I fully believe this. I think stress, I relate to stress to somewhat like a diabetes. It's a silent killer. And it stress on the outside isn't silence, of course, because it's similar to what you just said, Everett. You have that emotion that'll come out sometimes, and that's just people's personalities. You just can do your best to manage it, coach it, and control it. But the two the terms I've heard a lot about, I mean, I can go back 20, 25 years, and I remember hearing about this. Just, Terry, you know how the old people are. How you doing? Oh, my back hurts and my knees hurt, and, and all that stuff. But the things you hear the most about is hypertension and stress. And, I think the things that we talked about here so far with the physical fitness and the mental fitness are things that you can use to combat those two very serious things that people need to consider that they might not take as serious as they should. And those things will creep up on you like ninjas, man, and they're not good for you. Terry, you got a little more medical background, I think, than the three of us do. So what's your take on, things like hypertension and stress? I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, well, hypertension is a physiological malady. There's nothing that you can do about it. You don't bring it on unless you eat really crappily and don't exercise and smoke cigarettes and all that kind of stuff. But there are people who are born with hypertension, so there's that. But I'm going to go back to stress. Look, everything in this life that we lead involves stress. Everything. And so from coming out of your mother, whether you came out natural or were pulled out via cesarean, or you were a breech baby and came out ass backwards, it's stressful. This existence we live is stressful. So you either learn to manage that or the stress will manage you. And I know that's overly simplistic, but it's the truth. Once you understand that every aspect of your life is involving stress, it just goes away. It's just not that important. Everything is a reductive analysis. So no matter what problem you have, where did the problem begin?
What's the root cause?
Is it because of one thing or another, or do you get to the root of the problem? Because you can't solve any problem until you get to the root of it. So if you consistently do that throughout your life, no matter what you're faced with, no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstance, you do that reductive analysis, you see where the train jumped the tracks, and you attack that. And the stress just kind of falls by the wayside because everything involves stress. Living on this planet day to day, involves stress. If immune systems weren't key to this planet, the atmosphere that we breathe every day would kill us. So stress is inherent to our existence. The people who don't handle stress are the ones who let it spiral out of control. They have to medicate, either prescription or self-medicate, because mentally they're not strong enough to handle stress. And that really is the sad reality from my perspective.
Yeah. And I think the two subjects that we've talked about so far, with being taking care of your physical fitness and also just as important, taking care of your mental fitness, that's 2/3 of the battle right there as far as supporting yourself into managing the stress and those types of activities. Because, and I'm sure all three of you guys will attest to this, is, I mean, if I'm having a good week at the gym and doing my walking and all that, man, I'm able to handle things significantly better than if I miss or if I don't. And I can notice that on any day. If I don't do anything, I'm not handling situations as good as I would if I was at the gym or making sure to do things for my mental health as well. Do you guys experience that, Ronald?
I'm doing something every day. Even if I'm not at the gym, I mean, I do things, away from the gym but I stretch every day. So and my stretch is not just laying down and kicking up my leg, but it's a real stretch because I'm looking at, you know, aligning my
Right.
body, keeping my body posture good, and where is strength in the even just stretching. So if I'm not there I'm doing something that I can continue and not have to go through that mental loop like that. So I'm good, and I've had those experiences, but those that's been so long ago until I can't relate to it really. But
Excellent.
I can see how
So
that could
let's
happen.
with that, no, I appreciate it. Let's segue now into the third and final part of what I call the equation here of staying active and healthy as life progresses is keeping up with those doctor visits. And I'm going to go back to something Everett said earlier about maintaining the maintenance on things. And one thing my father said when I first got in the car, I was I want to say 17, and I'll never forget. He gave me the keys to the car, and I had to work and make money to contribute and all that stuff. But he said, of course, the sentence starts out with boy, boy, you take care of this car, and it'll take care of you. And the maintenance is changing the oil, checking the radiator, checking the belts, and all that type of stuff before all these computerized, mechanisms on the car today. So, with transitioning over into keeping up with the doctor visits and all that, I'd like to hear some of you guys' opinions. You can give it from a personal opinion or from a third, opinion of a friend or something like that. You don't need to say any names or anything. But some of the, one of the things I talk, and I'll actually go first with this subject. One of the things, I talk to, and I've even talked to my boys about, is my paternal grandfather had died of colon cancer, and he died a rough death. And that's something I just would never want to go through. But with the testing and the technology today, keeping up with colonoscopies is a big thing. I think it's one of the easier cancers to detect early and get it taken care of. But if it gets past a certain point, you're probably going to have some problems. And to witness what my grandfather went through, he died when he was 78, and this was a tough old dude here. I mean, fishing in Grand Isle and all that stuff every weekend, and trawling, and just a tough old dude. And to see the kind of death he died was eye opening to me when I was just 18, 19 years old, and I'll still never forget it. But those are the type of things that you can keep up on, and especially if you have good insurance, and even if you don't, you should do it. Is getting that wellness check at least twice a year. So, Everett, I'm gonna go to the younger guy here on this one first. So, tell me important things to you that you look at and you'd recommend people to keep up as far as doctors' visits go for themselves.
Yeah, well, I'd say keep up everything, especially on your blood work. You just want to make sure, because you can, go through life feeling fine and just thinking, maybe my allergies are bad, or I got a slight, cold or something. And it could turn out to be something lot more, a lot more serious than what you're making it out to be. But I think as with me, as I started seeing, the older I get, and I started listening to my body a little bit more, and when things just don't feel right, I'll bring it up to the wife, and she'll do some research, and she'll come up with, oh yeah, this subject, I mean, this particular supplement helps with this, or this helps with that, and we'll start on it together. But the one side of it has just been with me is just, I have grandparents, and my dad he'll be 89 here in November, and my grandparents have lived into their mid 90s. If there's longevity, I would like, I would like a good quality of life, maybe over the quantity of life. You know, my mom has always said that if it's the quality of life over the quality of life over the quantity of life. And if you can't enjoy the day, what good is it? So that's kind of been one of my motivating factors to, kind of stay on top of my health, get the doctor's visits, and whatever's on the high side of the scale, try to get that, back into the normal range as quickly as possible.
And watching that cholesterol, that's another thing too that we need to keep an eye out for. So no, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Everett. Ronald, talk to me about the doctor's visit side of things.
I do get regular checkups. I'm twice a year. Um, I do my annual where they do the blood work, and that's when they do everything. And I think that strongest medicine is prevention, and that's so I don't have just an MD, I have a DO, doctor of ophthalmology, whereas their focus is more on of if there's something using natural remedies versus traditional medicine, and and I chose that doctor, and I'm also curious. I hear talk with Terry. Terry said he does this other, and I want to look into see what that's about. I mean, I feel great, but then I have 6 months, so after I do my annual, I follow up in 6 months. They still do blood work, but they don't do a full what's it called?
Lipid panel.
Yeah, they don't do the full panel on the follow up visit. But I do go twice a year, and I'm a strong advocate for it. And but I've been doing that for years, though. And you talked about
Okay.
colonoscopy. Well, I started colonoscopy back when I was in my 40s. So I've had
Yep.
probably about 6 colonoscopies, and so
Yeah.
every 5 years or so. And I had both of my granddads died complications of cancer. So when I was in my 40s, there was a concern. My dad died from cancer. I had a brother younger than me. He died last year from cancer. So so I've always taken a look at it, and I tried to have a lifestyle that I know genetic, disposition got play a part in it too. But I've always looked at that. Then blood pressure, cholesterol was part of the family life, so I guarded myself against that as well. So
Yes,
and
sir.
I was sharing with Terry, I think just the other day, I think I said where I am today, my grandfathers and my dad, they were, dealing with cancer. And I said, and so I don't take it, lightly that I'm walking around with no medication, and so I got one brother remaining. I talk with him. I've got boys, and I talk with them about quality of life. And I said a lot of this I'm doing also for y'all because I'm not trusting y'all to take care of me if something take place. I want to be able to do that myself. Take control of my health. I can take control of my own life, and so 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 yeah. So yes, doctor visits are important. I do that, and my doctor, we're partners in my health care. If that's something that we
Yes.
need to discuss, we will have a discussion about it. And and I'll leave that with a good understanding for along this journey.
Very good. Well, I can tell you, I would have never guessed you were, 72 when well, you were younger than that when I first met you, and almost like when I met Terry with his age, and I went, really, wow, and those are the kind of people I want to be around. And I really appreciate you sharing some information in your story there and how you handle those types of things, because that's what I want our audience to hear is keep up with those doctor visits, manage that mental health and that stress, do some kind of physical activity, even if it's getting up, walking early or late in the evening. You don't want to walk if you're somewhere where it's hot, like here in Houston. You don't want to walk in the middle of the day in August. That I wouldn't encourage that to anybody. But do it in the evening or in the morning. But do something. And Terry, if you're okay with it, I'd like you to pyramid on that a little bit more, because I know you have something to add to that as far as the wellness. And I think you do a specialized type of testing that you do for yourself, correct?
Yeah, Ron and I were talking about that this morning. In fact, I go every 5 years through Methodist executive physical program, and I'm not being paid to by them to advertise, but I guess I should be. But it's just something that I've done because it's a next level assessment. It's a more deep dive into the individual metrics of your health. They break it down from everything from nutrition to cholesterol levels to any genetic risks that have surfaced in your family. I mean, it's quite a thorough examination.
So talk to me a little bit more about it, because now I'm kind of curious about it. So does this take part over a day or two or a couple of days? And just
It's
high
usually
level,
about
what type of tests are involved?
it's usually about a 3-day process. So you go check in to Methodist. There's a separate executive wellness area. They walk you in there. You get a card key where you can come and go as you please. You're in your room. They give you a schedule of your battery of tests. If you have colon issues and you're going to have a colonoscopy or something like that, then on the second day they're going to start the prep process and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it really is, from my perspective, a worthwhile endeavor, because your GP or your internist just doesn't have the time, and the insurance company won't reimburse for that level of care. To assuage my own concerns, I looked into this a long time ago and have been doing it. When I turn 70, this will be my 4th trip.
Okay. So
But
you're
we
real
don't have to
happy is what I'm hearing.
He's paying for everybody next time.
What's that?
I said, we don't have to worry about it because Everett said he's going to pay for everybody to go next time.
Big money grip, baby.
I think I got your check that I was going to give you right over here. See, I was right. Look at that. I'll just go ahead and write that for you. You just go and get your little body checked out on me.
Well, Ronald, in all fairness, he said he was from St. Louis, right? That's where Big Money Grip's from, I think, right?
Hey, I see why it costs so much for Terry, because they got to look how much blood they got to pull out of that individual. For somebody a little shorter, it should be cheaper.
Man, the grief is fast and furious around here, baby. Only on In the Pocket with JayBo we do this kind of stuff. Oh, man. Now, look, I think that was a great coverage we had on those 3 important subjects. I just want to stress to the crowd the physical fitness, taking care of yourself physically all the way around, doing something. Your mental fitness, reading, even if it's sports that you're doing or music, you're constantly thinking.
Right.
If you ever thought about taking guitar lessons, man, get up and start doing it. There's so many ways you can access things on the internet to do. And I think with the AI components that you can use now with Grok or Chat GPT, you can do meal plans, you can do workout programs for yourself. You feed the information in, it gives you something back, and you tailor it to whatever you have to do, but doing something. And then also with the doctor's visits, keeping up with your human maintenance, with your self-maintenance, getting the blood work that needs to get done, getting your heart tested, keeping up with those colonoscopies. Like Everett said, if you're not feeling good over a few days, period, and you have an allergy or something, it may be something else going on and you don't know, and you need to get it checked out. Don't sit around and wonder about it. Get off your giant brown hind parts and get over to that doc and see, get it checked out and see what's going on. If you don't have one, talk to some friends and neighbors. They can recommend somebody for you. It's all about just getting up and take the initiative to do it. And that's all it's about here. And if you're listening to this show right now, watching this show right now, you definitely want to listen and get into those things if you're not doing it now. So, and as the old saying goes, if it helps one person, the whole conversation's worth it. So what I want to do here is just transition back into you guys for a minute. So we talk about all this activity that we have going on and, staying active physically, mentally, and doctor's visits and working out and making sure we're getting enough sleep. I don't want to not cover that enough. Just whatever's the right amount of sleep for you, Like for me, if I'm around 6.5, I'm good to go. And just before we move on here, Ronald, what's a good night's sleep for you? If you're getting a good deep sleep, how many hours is a good night's sleep for you?
Good night's sleep would be 7+ hours, but
7+. Okay.
yeah, that's a dream. That's a dream for me.
Okay. Everett, what about you?
I'm camped in about like you, Jay, 6.5.
Okay.
That's Monday through Friday. Usually Saturdays and Sundays I try to lay in the bed a little bit longer. If I don't have to get up, I don't get up.
Right.
Until it's time to, until my body says, all right, there's enough laying down. But on an
Right.
average Monday through Friday, I'm looking at about 6.5 hours, sometimes 7.
Gotcha. All right, Superman, how much for you now?
Well, I usually go on 5 hours.
Dracula.
This is one of those podcasts. No matter what you say, there's going to be a hit.
You know you're gonna get it.
You're going to get a hit, no matter what you say. But no, 5 hours is usually good for me. I'm usually asleep probably within 2 minutes of laying my head on a pillow, and I sleep. I'm probably in REM sleep in 20 minutes, and then I wake up and I open my eyes and I get up, and I usually wake up the same time or around the same time every morning, which is between 4:15 and 4:30.
Man, what's that movie, Everett, with Denzel Washington? It came out. I think they had 3 parts of it. The
Equalizer.
Yeah. That's Black Superman over there. That's Terry.
JayBo, you're supposed to be the host. You're not supposed to be hitting these dicks.
I gotta accommodate my guests, man. You're supposed to be my co-host now. Come on.
He's the equalizer, the multiplier, the subtractor.
Yep.
The calculator, the common denominator.
That's it. That's why I had him here today, Ronald. He's the common denominator, man.
I tell you what, Jay, though, next time you have 3 Ball brothers on your show, you need to go ahead and shave it all off so that way we can
put on a skull
match.
Man, I think I'm catching up now. I ain't gonna lie now. I don't know, since those mood killers have been gone from the house several years now, it looks like it might be coming back a little bit. Those mood killers are like stress, man. They'll get you, kids.
Yeah.
Terry knows what I'm talking about, them kids, man.
Oh, yeah. Or otherwise known as tax deduction.
That's it. So look, let's transition as we kind of get close to the end here. I want to, as we're talking about all these types of subjects. So what do you guys do to unwind? What do you do when you have some of your own time? What do you do to not sleep in or nap in, or what do you like to do your time? So Ronald, talk to me first.
I would like to go fishing. I mean, I love fishing. I mean, you can put me out on a creek or a lake somewhere with my rod and reel and my things that I need out there. I mean, I can stay out there for days, and so I love it. And grew up. My granddad had a boat. Used to take me out. I fished when I was in college. Came home, I fished, and so. But these last few years, I hadn't had an opportunity to do that. But I love fishing. And so if I could get make some time, that's what I would do for my.
What's your favorite fish to catch?
Freshwater, I like bass. Saltwater, I like reds and speckles. But I catch those big bullhead croakers.
Yep.
I love it.
We used to go fishing almost every weekend, and they started having the brackish water coming in where we go. It was all saltwater. All I did was saltwater fishing growing up, catching reds and specks all the time, and some drum every now and then, flounder. And in the brackish water one time, we were fishing along the coastline, and we were catching some reds. Then all of a sudden, I catch one. I'm reeling it in, and this fish just jumps out the water, twisting. And I don't think any of us ever caught a bass before. And I was like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, they brought it in the boat. Sure enough, it was a bass, and I'm like, "How the hell is that?" First time I ever caught a bass in my life. I was like, "What the hell is that?" We got an ice chest full of reds. I think the limit was 5 each back then, and we had some specks in there too. But all we could brag about was catching the bass. We're like, "Damn,
I know, big mouth. I love it, man.
That was some good eating too, man. I got to say that.
I love it, absolutely.
Nice. Everett, what do you do to unwind, man, for you?
Well, it's not fishing because the first fish I ever caught was working in the pet department at Walmart. Uh, I would say I get my unwinding. I guess you can say playing golf. I play golf.
Okay.
I can't say that it's stress free because once you start gambling, it changes the whole level of why you're out there. But
Yeah.
right, but I like doing that, and then
Yeah.
of course I would say I like to relax, but my wife would tell you different. She'll tell you I'm a busybody, like I just can't sit still, even on days I don't have things to do. I'm still doing things, moving around the house and moving this, cleaning that, picking this up. So, but if we want to tie it down to one, I would probably say that, and probably coaching.
Yes.
Coaching allows me to kind of unwind because I'm passionate about it, doing that, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're going to have good days, bad days, good teams, bad teams, but overall, it's just one of those things where it's not a stressor for me, and it's a getaway.
Well, and I think, Terry, for you and I to talk about this for a second, I think what Ronald and Everett are talking about is a mindset. Because I've seen some people go fishing, and if they don't catch anything, they're mad and aggravated, and this and that. And I've seen more tempers blown playing golf than I've ever seen in my life, believe me. And but that is a mindset. So, Terry, what you have to add to this, as far as the unwinding part of things? But how crucial is it that people do something to unwind? Talk to me about that, Terry.
Well, I do think it's critical. Just like our bodies, our bodies dream when we're asleep, so that we're entertained while we're sleeping. So I think it's critical that you get yourself out of what your normative routine is and into something that you just enjoy that relaxes you. I mean, I know this is going to sound trite, but for me, my relaxation is being alive. And never more so this week than any other week. On Monday, I learned that 2 of my neighborhood friends from my youth died.
Mm.
Same day. On Friday of last week, the running back on my football team was in a wreck and is now a quadriplegic.
Mm.
So I'm serious when I say being alive is my happy place, because our existence can be snuffed out like that. Our lives can be changed in a fraction of an eye. And I am ever so happy that I am upright, conscious. Depending on who you ask, my mentation is either good or crappy, but it works. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be here.
Well, one thing I can say is when we see each other at the gym in the mornings and all that, we always greet each other. We always tell each other, have a good day, and it's just always kind of a positive, nurturing environment. And as I get older, those are the types of surroundings and definitely the type of people like you 3 guys are, the type of people I want to be around more, because it's healthy for me, and I hope that I bring that kind of positivity to you guys as well when we're talking and when we're interacting and those types of things. And if not, just come listen to Terry and I talk about old school music and food for about 10 minutes. I promise you, your day will brighten up within a minute there.
Jay, let me go back to that. Let me go back to that for a
Please
second.
do. Please do.
Here's in my famous statement of reductive analysis. So here's the bottom line. You talk about Ron introduced the concept of stages, right? When we're young, we want to. In middle age, we need to or we have to. At our age, we get to. I get to go to the gym every day. I get to work out every day. I get to go to breakfast every day because I've earned that. I get to do these things because I've put in the time and the work. And so that's the happy place, because we've gotten to the point where we can do whatever the hell we want to do. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Preach it, Terry. No, but he's right.
But
We get to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Take that off your head.
God, my people.
No, but I totally agree with you there. And I think the things that we talked about are combatants to stress. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Everett, you can give me a now.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I was waiting for you to finish.
So I think those types of things are really good for combating stress, along with this getting good sleep. Try not to eat anything. Don't put anything in your mouth after 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And
No,
getting
I'm
up
not that
early
one.
and doing something active. Well, not you, Superman, not you, man. We know if he's got something there, it's gone. That's a compliment, Big T. So anyway, but those types of things are just positive for you, especially as life progresses, as we're talking about. And it's firsthand knowledge from, like I say, everyday people like us. There's no specialists, no Dr. Phils, and all this and that and all this other crap. And we're here because we want to be here. Nobody's getting paid right now. And so I really appreciate you guys' viewpoints on all these things. And before we go, I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything here. So, Ronald, did I miss anything with you, or any last words of enlightenment? And I know you always got a good word from him. You know how he is, Terry. I want to hear a good word from him.
So I think we're good here. Every year's what, 57? Yep.
Me, I would just say be intentional.
Yep. And then, after 60, I think Terry kind of alluded that life isn't about adding years, but it's about adding life to the years that we have remaining. And so, I want to live every day on purpose. Intentional.
And I love that. I love that quote, man. It's not adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. And I love that quote. I think I'm gonna use that some more. I like that. So,
hey,
Terry, did I miss anything with these gentlemen? You have any other questions for them or comments? I know you're gonna bear hug Everett when you see him tomorrow.
I think Terry ought to get some T-shirts made with that on there. I do.
I don't.
You ought to get us some T-shirts.
I don't know. I don't.
He got several shirts everywhere. He flexing, the sleeves pop off, And so he said, "Golly, man,
Big Terry, baby.
You didn't eat before you left or something. You must have ate before or didn't eat until you put the shirt on." He flexed, coming there with no sleeves. I said, "Golly, boy." I'm not going to claim the senior person in here because like I said, I don't feel old or young. I just feel alive. I'm just, I can pick at you.
Well,
I know you
we know there ain't no
right.
trouble with his vision. We know there's no trouble with his vision, right, Terry? Because he knows who's coming in that gym and who ain't there, right?
Oh no, he knows that, hands down.
I know when he's
Ron,
in his happy place.
I didn't tell you. I call him the Bumpy Johnson of a Fitness Connection. Hey,
now that needs to be a T-shirt.
you come through there. You need to make sure you stop by and greet. If not, you might come up.
That's it. Well, Terry, we couldn't leave our man Jose off of that either now because you know him.
Yeah, well, make sure you don't ask Jose to do one of these because it'll be 16 hours.
Right.
Hey,
hello, my friend.
I need to make sure. I need to make sure it works.
Yeah. Lately, when I've been seeing Jose, I look at my watch. I'm like, "Come on, man, come on now."
I tell him to roll.
I love that. Terry, what you call him? The mayor of the gym? What y'all call him?
The mayor of the gym. Yep.
Only the ones we love, man. Only the ones we love.
Hey.
Well, fellas,
good
look.
thing there ain't no babies
y'all.
in there for him to kiss.
Yeah, you go there, right?
What was that, Everett?
I say, good thing there's no babies in there for him to kiss. He be shaking hands and kissing babies.
I'm telling you, man, he looked like he's working the room for the next election.
Dude, every day. I told him one time, and I think it was one of his happy moments. I said, "Jose, I think I'm gonna get a picture of you and put it up on my desk, man." Then he points at Terry. You need to get him. You need to get him. Man. Well, look, fellas, I really appreciate y'all taking some time out after a busy day. I know y'all started out at the gym, and we all started out at the gym, and you had your work and your jobs and things that you do and things after work. And I really appreciate the time here. It means a lot to me, and thank y'all for being here. Again, please subscribe or follow the In the Pocket with JayBo podcast, be it on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Please give us a like. We love hearing your comments. Want to hear everything that you got to say. And again, we really appreciate everybody supporting the show. And before we leave today, so Ronald, any parting words for us?
I gave you mine. Pass the torch. That's for you,
That's
Terry.
it.
Can you see my hand? I'm reaching out, huh? You got to reach back, right? Huh? I guess
You got
Everett
it.
picked it up. Everett is handing it to you.
You got it. There you go. Pass it. Maybe like the Brady Bunch. Everett, any parting words for us, man?
No, like I said, just keep life in perspective. That'd be about it. Keep life in perspective. Some things
Right.
ain't as bad as you make them out to be.
Yeah, you got that right. Take a step back, man. Take a step back and take a breath. Big Terry, my
Pause.
esteemed co-host, what you got for me, man? Any parting words for us?
The same phrase I just finished telling 35 people. If you're talking, you're not listening. If you're not listening, you're not learning.
Ronald, he got some words today, man. I'm telling
Boy,
you,
he
man.
got him today, boy.
He got him today. He's on his game today, man.
I think he's hungry.
Thank you.
I think he's hungry. He's trying to tell you he's about to turn out. He's hungry.
That's what I'm saying.
I am hungry. I know, Ron.
So again, but thank y'all so much, fellas. This is a very important topic, and I'm really glad we got to dig into the details, and y'all gave me y'all personal viewpoints on things and being open about your health and things that we look at in all those areas. So again, from my heart, I really appreciate it. And even more so than that, I really appreciate the friendship I have with all three of you guys. And y'all have been a very big positive in my life. And, at the age I'm at right now, I can't tell you, it means a lot to me. And Terry and I always say this, if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, or if y'all can help me, I know y'all would be there for me, and y'all could call me at 3 a.m. I'll be there for y'all. So again, it's much appreciated. Y'all are my brothers, and thanks again.
Thanks
so with
for having
that,
me.
I want to say, absolutely. I want to say we'll catch you for the very next episode of In the Pocket with JayBo on the flip side. So we'll see you later.
JayBo
Thank you.
on the flip side.